Hi, it's Cindy and Jan on the back roads, and it's just me today. And I am at the Blue Lantern Teahouse in Greenville, Ohio.
Hi, I'm Jesse Berry, and I am co-owner of Blue Lantern Tea. I co-own this business with my wife, and as you can see, we have a traditional tea house here. So when you think of tea houses, a lot of people think of like an English style setting where it's kind of elegant, or sometimes a lot of tea houses these days just have more of a coffee shop feel. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but we really wanted to create an authentic tea experience here. So we have here at our tea house, we have kind of a subtle Asian theme going on. We have two seating areas where we have seating in the floor. We also have general seating on this side, and again, seating in the floor, which is something you would find in traditional Asian tea houses. We also serve tea in traditional Asian tea sets, teapots and cups. We also sell some of those items here, tea sets, etc., etc. And of course, we have a large selection of teas that you could choose from when you come in here and sit down and get tea, or we also sell bulk tea to take home with you as well. So as I said, we wanted to really create a very unique experience in terms of coming in and having tea. So we're not a restaurant in the sense that we don't serve any food, but it is like a restaurant in the sense that you would come in, you sit down. Like I said, we have a large selection of teas, so we give you a menu that lists all of our teas. Choose a tea from the menu, and again, we have a couple of different ways you would get your tea in terms of what kind of tea set or what kind of teapot you would drink it out of. So
Okay, and how long have you been here in Greenville?
Well, technically we've had the tea company, we started the tea company in 2013, but it started out as an e-commerce store. And we also started our martial arts school. You can kind of see back in the dark, we have a martial arts school here also. So we started our martial arts school in 2013 as well, and we are in a smaller location. So we ran the tea house as an e-commerce store, like an online store, and we did have a large kiosk where we were selling the bulk tea bags. So again, technically we started in 2013. However, we moved into this location a few years ago to expand and open a brick and mortar sit-down experience, and we've had this tea house open for 5 years now. Been to China once.
Okay.
I actually, when I did go to China, even though I was very into tea and I did try to absorb as much of the tea culture as I could, I actually went to China with my martial arts school that I was training at the time. Now, I do train and practice the Japanese tea ceremony. So my sensei, which is Japanese for instructor or teacher, she lives in Fairfield, Ohio, so I travel down there a couple of times a month and practice the Japanese tea ceremony. So that's what my official tea training background is.
Okay, if someone wants to have one of those official tea ceremonies for friends, how did they go about that?
I haven't actually done that, even though I could. I haven't actually done a tea ceremony officially for anyone. I mean, I've done it for friends and family kind of thing. I don't really advertise that a whole lot outside of interviews like this. But if somebody was interested, all they'd have to do was approach me and ask me if that's something I'd be willing to do, and I definitely would be open to that kind of thing. Tea ceremony, the Japanese tea ceremony, it can be kind of long and grueling in terms of it's very rigid. So like even the guests technically require a certain level of training. A lot of what is said is like scripted. So it's not like these casual settings where you sit down and you have tea and it's festive and everybody chats. It's like you go in, you sit down, you sit there quietly while I would be making tea. So I guess that's why I don't really advertise that a whole lot.
So there's a reverence to it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like something, when I do talk about it to people, they think that it sounds very cool, but I haven't got a lot of people show interest in that side of the tea. But it's definitely something I'd be open to, and I have done some demonstrations and stuff like that before for larger groups. So it's not the official tea ceremony like like I said, in the sense that everybody sits down, sits quietly, waits their turn for a drink, and waits their turn to say whatever it is they're supposed to say. So I've definitely done stuff like that.
Walk us through your teas over here on the wall.
Okay. Well, come right up here. Again, we as part of the aesthetic, we kind of have these different levels here. Got this lower deck, and then this upper deck where the lower seating is. We have a little small Zen garden with a small water feature here. And then again, right here is all of our bulk teas. We sell just about all of our teas in 4-ounce bags. So again, people come right up here and just look and shop right here. We list all these in our tea menu as well. So sometimes people will stand at the counter and look at the teas. But as you can see, this shelf right here kind of represents our Chinese green teas. Chinese green teas, and we got a couple of oolongs. Here we got some Chinese oolongs right here as well. These are kind of our Chinese black teas. We do have a few Japanese green teas over here, and then excuse me. And then we do have a lot of English classic teas. So usually, if you go to, like I said earlier, if you go to like a tea house or a tea shop, most of those here in America are more English themed, so you would be getting like an English style tea, like an English breakfast or an Irish breakfast, a Ceylon maybe, or something like that. So that's what these teas right here are. And then these tea bags down here in the green bags, these are what we refer to as non-traditional teas or flavored and blended teas. So this one right here is I point to this one because this is probably one of our most popular.
That is my favorite.
Yeah, that's everybody's favorite. We always sample that one too when we do presentations or we set up vendor tables. It's a cinnamon tea. It's a great tea because if you like cinnamon, of course, it's a great tea. But it's also naturally sweetened as well, so it's a great standalone tea that you don't have to add any sweetener to. A lot of people coming into tea or even long-standing tea drinkers like a little bit of sweetener with their teas. So I'm always looking for teas that are good, what we call standalone teas, meaning you don't really have to add a whole lot to them. So Indian Fire is great for that. The one next to it, this is our Peach Blossom. It's got a little bit of natural sweetness to it, and we make that one iced. We have a few iced teas here, and in terms of popularity, the iced peach is definitely at the top of the list. It makes a great summer tea, and in fact, one of the few iced teas we keep all year long. Once winter hits, we lose a lot of, iced tea sales really kind of drop pretty dramatically, but iced peach seems to hold strong all year long. So yes, this is kind of our full list of teas right here.
What about your Indian chai tea? Is that what typically we would think of as a chai tea? Is that spicier?
Yes, so chai teas are spicier, so there's no natural sweetness to it like the Indian Fire. So it has a lot of those spices, not so much cinnamon, so you don't get a strong cinnamon taste, but more like the black pepper type spices. Typically those teas were created specifically to take with like a milk or creamer. So when those teas were cultivated, several generations ago, that's why they were made. So sweet and spicy pair very well together. So typically people will get those with like a creamer, and we also make those into a lattes. So we have a handful of house lattes where we take a almond vanilla creamer and we froth that up in a frother so it creates like a foam. We put that in the tea. So lattes are very, very popular. And like I said, we have a few house lattes, but you can really latte anything. So in fact, Indian Fire, we don't have that on the menu as a house latte, but we do have a few people, because it's already sweet, but we have a few people that'll latte that one too, so it makes it extra sweet. But
yeah, that's a great tea.
Yeah. So,
we've taken that before to like a breakfast bar in a hotel, and people are like, what are you drinking?
Yeah.
Where'd you get it? Now they can order online from you, right?
Well, we closed the online store, although we posted our menu online, and at the bottom of one of those pages, we do still offer online orders via email, text, or phone call. So we still have quite a handful. We acquired quite a handful of like regulars through our online store, and a lot of them still order from us. So they'll either just email me, or some of them call, some of them text.
Okay.
And we've acquired quite a handful of customers that have came in here, but they live far away, and since they came in here and fell in love with their teas, when they visit Greenville, they'll come and get teas, but in between visits to Greenville, they'll order teas
Okay.
by phone. Or,
And then your Japanese seating here, if somebody wanted to come and sit there, do they have to make reservations for those, or
no,
just
they don't have to. We did post we do have on our website that we encourage people to make reservations. That's actually still lingering there. When we first opened, we had less tables on both sides, so we were really worried that sometimes that would be a problem if especially for people who are traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So really reservations aren't quite as necessary unless it's a larger group. So we have one table that seats 6, and the rest of our tables seats mostly 4. We have one small two-person table there. So we still encourage anybody who's coming in a group larger than 4 to call ahead. That way we can have stuff set up and make sure we got enough tables to pull together.
Okay. Somebody my age group is probably not going to sit in those low chairs.
Well, you'd be surprised. You would really be surprised who sits on which side, because again, you would think that older generations wouldn't be interested in sitting over here. But we have probably the same amount of older generation that sit over here than we do younger generation.
Wow.
And again, you would think the younger generations would be more apt to sit on the side, and I would say half of them do, but a lot of them still sit over there. I sit on both sides. I like sitting over here. This is kind of my usual spot, and it really just depends on if I'm working, or like right now I got my computer. When you came in, you saw me sitting over there with my computer and a bunch of other stuff out. Sometimes when I'm here by myself and I don't have one of the girls working for us or one of our staff working for us, where I feel like I'm going to have to get up and engage people or take care of serve tea, it's just easier to sit over there. And I think a lot of our customers do the same thing. Sometimes they'll sit over there if they got a lot of work to do, or if they're doing stuff. They like to sit over here and lounge out when it's more of a social hangout or social visit with a friend. So.
And what are your hours, Jesse?
So we're here Monday through Friday. We're here 9:30 to 6, and Saturday we're here 9 to 4.
Okay, great. And I encourage everybody to come. It's a darling place.
Well, thank you.
And you made a tea drinker out of me.
That's one of our goals, not necessarily to make people into full-fledged tea drinkers, but I think a lot of people, especially in towns like Greenville, don't have a lot of experience with tea outside of just what they get at the grocery store or a lot of coffee shops. I've noticed on my travels, I do travel a lot, I've noticed that a lot of coffee shops, even like the really good ones, the prestigious ones, the ones that have good quality coffee, I mean, they're coffee drinkers, so they don't know any better. So a lot of times those kind of coffee shops, despite the high quality of coffee and other goods that they serve, a lot of times are lacking on the tea side. So most people have not so great experiences with tea because they're not getting good quality tea. So that's one of the things we wanted to do here in terms of having this unique experience, is just really expose people to the world of tea. And that tea really is, there's good high quality teas out there that make a world of difference in terms of taste and experience.
And where are you located in Greenville?
We're at 106 North Broadway, so Greenville, like all small towns, has kind of a little small shopping district, and we're just kind of down the street from that. For those of you who are familiar with Greenville, we're right down the street from the iconic Made Right. So if I step outside my door right now and look to the left, I see Made Right. If I look to the right, I can see the courthouse and the traffic circle right uptown here.
Yep.
So we're in a great location because we're right along a creek here. So we have the park right across the street. There's a little trail that goes right over to the park. It's a beautiful scenic walk right over there. So it's a short walk uptown to the small businesses up there. We're really in a great location.
You are in a great location. It's a great shop. Thank you, Jesse.
Well, thank you. Thanks for coming down and interviewing me.
We will. As you know, Cindy and I travel to a lot of small towns and cities, and we've never encountered a tea house like Jesse has. So we encourage you, if you come into Greenville, to come and explore the Blue Lantern Teahouse. And if you're curious, the tea that I really like is Indian Fire. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We also have a Facebook page where we share a lot of additional information. We hope you follow us there too. And as always, if you know someplace great that we should check out, please let us know. We're always up for a trip on the back roads. We hope to see you there. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.